Dear Galileo Galilei. Hello, my name is Albert Einstein. Also, you probably haven't heard of me because you've been born 325 years before I was. We have a lot in common. I find your life story to be rather intriguing, and I can relate to your experiences. I was fed up with school when I was younger like you, and I dropped out like you. I was also rather impressed by your series, considering you did not have much to work with in your time. I created a theory very similar to your theory of falling bodies. I would really love to talk more about our discoveries. Sincerely, Albert Einstein.
Dear Albert Einstein, I received your letter and I am extremely fascinated by your words. I find it unfortunate that our lives did not overlap. It would have been a blessing to have a fellow scientist on my side. You see, the Catholic Church ruled over everything in Italia in my day, and individuals who did not agree were punished. I was sentenced to live the remainder of my life on house arrest because I supported Copernicus's heliocentric theory. I hope by your time people had discovered I was actually correct. I can see why you dropped out of school. They wanted me to study as many subjects as I could instead of focusing on the ones I was interested in, which was astronomy and math. I did not have any desire to learn proper Italian or learn about the history of the Roman Empire. I did not dream of visiting the Colosseum like the other boys in my class. All the other boys loved to throw discus during free time, while I preferred to read science books and talk to my teachers about the sky. At night, I enjoyed laying out under the stars and wondering how they got there and what they looked like. I am very interested in your theory, and I would like to hear about it. Sincerely, Galileo Galilei.
Dear Galileo, I am tremendously sorry to hear about your house arrest. I was also outcast by my country's people when Adolf Hitler and the Nazis came to power. Adolf was a dictator, and my home country of Germany became what you might call a totalitarian state. Religiously, I followed the Jewish faith, which is fairly similar to Catholicism. Jews were hated by the Nazis, and they kept interrupting my lectures, so I moved to the United States. As for the schooling, I did not enjoy language and social studies at all. In fact, I was denied entrance to a university because I failed language and social studies portions of the entrance exam. Your theory of falling bodies parallels my theory of relativity. The year you died, a scientist by the name of Isaac Newton was born. Newton made laws of motion, and he altered your theory. When I studied Newton's theory, I made some changes of my own and wrote a paper in 1905 titled On the Electrodynamics of Moving Bodies. In the paper, I generalized your theory and proposed a hypothesis about the speed of light. You'll have to read it sometime. Sincerely, Albert.
Dear Albert, I'm sorry to hear about the whole Nazi dictator thing. I hope Hitler was overthrown from power. I will really enjoy reading your paper sometime. I am also very impressed to see how far the telescope has come. You see, I was one of the first people to use a telescope. I actually created a telescope of my own to help me study the stars. It was more efficient than the original telescope that I was shown. Through using my new telescope, I discovered things like sunspots. I also discovered Jupiter's moons with my telescope. I heard scientists in the 21st century have created what is called an electron microscope. I enjoy knowing they flipped the telescope's purpose and made a microscopic from it. The new electron microscope can magnify images up to 10 million times their normal size. I am incredibly impressed. I am also proud to know I helped in the idea of making a scope to see things better. Also, I see they have buildings called observatories now. They are genius. I wish dearly I could have had an observatory in my day to study the stars with. It would have been able to discover a whole new array of planets and galaxies. Also, I could have furthered my studies of sunspots and Jupiter's moons. Are you as impressed as I am by these new inventions? Sincerely, Galileo.
Dear Galileo, yes, I am very impressed by all of the new inventions. While I find the microscope and the observatory advancements important, I am more interested in the advancements of things like nuclear energy. In my time, an atomic bomb was created for war. This bomb was dropped on the island of Japan. Even so, scientists did not know the full effects of the bomb. Today, in the 21st century, scientists have made a whole new type of bomb called a nuclear bomb. This new bomb is much more powerful and emits a lot more radiation than the atomic bomb of midday. Nuclear energy was not known about when I was around, and it has become a huge part of the world today. Nuclear power plants are located all around the world. They take nuclear energy from uranium and turn it into electrical energy, which can be used by the people of Earth. I even saw a cartoon the other day about a man who works in a nuclear power plant. I think it was called Simpsons. I failed to understand why the people in the show were yellow. I thought it might be to show the effect of radiation. Also, the man was incredibly dumb, which led me to believe the radiation was harmful to his brain. His son was also a conniving numbskull. I think it was to show how the radiation had genetically impacted the family. This is all naive analysis. I wasn't quite sure if the show was supposed to entertain people or if it was to educate them about the harmful effects of radiation. I wish I could have lived during this time period because there is so much more to work with. I'm sure you feel the same way. Besides nuclear energy, I am also impressed with the new technology such as the iPod. It is inconceivable to me how they create such a device. Touchscreens are amazing. They easily surpass any inventions of my time. I cannot even begin to imagine how it works. Do you find iPods as interesting as I do? Sincerely, Albert.
Dear Albert, I am impressed by the nuclear energy you speak of. I actually did some research about it on something called Google. I thought it was an odd name for a company, but whatever floats their gondola, I guess. Anyway, the way these nuclear energy is incredible. Electrical energy in general is extremely fascinating to me in the first place because I never saw any of it in my time. I also researched the Simpson character you spoke of, and I am equally confused on the yellow skin. Also, his wife has large blue hair. Blue hair was unheard of in my time, so I wonder if the blue color is an effect of the radiation or if it is a new style. As for the iPods, I also did some researching into them as well, because I had extra time on my hands. You know what they say, when in Pisa. The touchscreen feature is truly one of my greatest mysteries. I have no idea how it works. Hopefully we can get together to have lunch sometime so we can talk a lot more in person. I know a really good Italian restaurant. Sincerely, Galileo.
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome.
Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday.